the Mad Brit Podcast, the boys on the road to Oasis live in 2025 with your boy Josh, Tom, and Adam. And we've got another great episode, like we always do. Today we're going to be talking about Oasis cover band that Adam went and saw, but also just cover bands in general and the cachet they have, the feeling of going and seeing a band. Maybe you can't see your favourite band, but they're there playing at your local town hall, and you go there with a bunch of your friends and have a good time. Or you go see these bands, the influx, the groundswell of Oasis cover bands that have come out this year. That's where your money should be. Forget Bitcoin. Start a cover band. Manage an Oasis cover band. Because you'll be minted. But yeah, so basically, let's start off with you, Adam.
Well, all these cover bands must have been so happy when the boys got back together.
Yeah,
because it was just like, oh, it's drying off. No one's that interested anymore. It's like, wow. Like, literally, so the band I saw is Oasis.
Yeah, they're one of the big ones.
And I looked on their website. Honestly, they've got like gigs every weekend practically. You can they are coming to a town near you. They are everywhere. But I don't know what they played last year, but I can't imagine they played this much. Right. So they are quids in with these boys getting back together.
I saw that there's at the Edinburgh Castle in Camden.
Fuck off!
That they have, I don't know if it's one night for the first Oasis London gig that they're doing.
Yeah.
That they have an Oasis night. And it had like 3 Oasis cover bands. So I don't know if they're spacing them out over the weekends.
Sounds amazing.
For it. Or you can just go see 3 Oasis cover bands. I think your guys might be playing, but maybe not. But there's one called Rubbish, who are an Oasis cover band. I guess they were like, we'll go off the is kind of bit. So we'll just call ourselves Rubbish.
Rubbish? I
think I'm pretty sure it's just Rubbish in the Oasis
Okay,
logo.
but they need to work on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's like, oh, I remembered the name.
Yeah.
Like Oasis.
Not quite.
Oasis.
It's not jumping out
but
at me.
if I saw like, oh, who are you going to go see to that? Roll with it. The UK tribute to Oasis or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got to have a snappy name. But yeah, so you were in Leeds.
So I'm in Leeds at the Leeds Irish Centre, which is like a typical Phoenix Nights vibey working men's club in the Pennine Suite. And yeah, they're on. And I tell you what, they were bloody good.
Oh yeah,
they were really good, especially the fella who is he playing? I know we talked about movies in the last episode. Are they playing someone? I don't know, but Liam was great. He was there. He had the jacket on. He had the hair. He had the banter.
Did he have the voice?
And he had the voice as well.
Right.
And well, I'm sure we'll pop up some clips of the gig because it was great and very busy. Did you ever feel like pain? But yeah, he even had the modern day banter, which I thought was interesting because someone shouted something out and he was like, "Oh, have you just come from Toby Carvery?" So I was like, Toby Carvery didn't exist probably when Oasis were around originally.
It's not period accurate.
yeah.
So were you, when you got the tickets, how much was the service fee and how long was the line for tickets when you were buying them?
I've paid on the door.
Oh, so it wasn't through Ticketmaster?
And it was £27 for a ticket, which is a lot, but then maybe they've jacked their prices up because of Oasis. They're like, well, we were 15, but now Oasis are 150. So 350. Then we can put it up a bit.
Well, what do you get for that? $27.50. What are we getting here? What am I getting myself into?
You get 2 bands. First, the Killers UK.
With a Z.
With a Z.
Oh,
but then also UK on the end. And I wanted to make a point about, like, in general cover bands, if they just put whatever UK, I always think that's a bit like like Foo Fighters UK, or is it UK Foo Fighters? That's just a cop-out.
Oh, we saw Nirvana UK, and they were good.
Yeah, but that's it. They are good. The Killers band were good, but maybe just put the Killers with a Z.
Yeah.
Or Killers, like, with just a Z.
Or the Mr. Brightsides. Like, sort of like that. Spaceman.
Bones.
The Mr. Brightside sounds like a football team nickname from like the 1920s. It's like, they were known as the Mr. Brightsides back then.
So they came on. How would the Killers cover band start off with?
I tell you what I got. A little memento from the concert.
You got the set list?
You ran up to the front of the stage?
Of course I did. Of course I did. So this is the Killers UK set list.
Right, let's guess what they were opening with.
Somebody told me it's the opener.
Wrong.
What's the first one on the album? Jenny Was a Friend of Mine.
Correct.
That, of course it is.
I know about 4 of their songs.
I won't make you go through all of them. I'll read them out in a minute. But what did they end on?
It's The Bright Side.
Yeah, The Bright Side.
Did they play it twice? Did they like double it up? Did they stretch the song?
What, the Killers do that?
Well, that's what I mean. Did they like propel the thing to?
No, they
drive
didn't,
the
and they
crowd?
did sort of like medleys as well, just to get through. To get through all the hits. So
did they play Bones?
Yes, they did. So they played Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, and then interlude. When you were young, caution, one go.
Bones. Yeah.
Great.
And then Smile Like You Mean It, Reasons Unknown.
Great.
And then newer stuff, Boy and A Little Respect. Is that one of their newer songs?
Or
are they literally doing Give a Little Respect?
I bet the Killers, if they do that, they cover it or something. And so they're just going off the live set list or something.
And then they did The Man, which is, it's time to go off the bar.
My dad loves that
Boy
song.
and then The Man. And then good stuff again. Indie rock and roll. Bright Lights? What's Bright Lights? That must be a new one as well.
Not up on the Killers.
Spaceman, Run, Read My Mind, all these things. A piano little ditty into Human. Somebody told me Brightside.
Did they have a full piano?
No, they had
was it equipped?
I don't know. Keyboard.
I don't know. What's the? I'm trying to gauge the production. That's what I mean.
So we've got to wheel this off, lads. Oasis coming on. They're gonna fucking wreck it.
Did the house have a piano? Or?
It was a Casio, and it was just a dun, 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 and then
DJ.
Right. I thought you meant like a. Okay.
But yeah, a packed set.
Did you get him to sign it?
No, I didn't, and I sort of, as you can see, stole it a little bit.
But let's put it
stage,
on the set.
It's taken. The corners have gone.
Look like the Killers when they went on and performed.
He had like what I would say like a game show host jacket.
Yeah.
And they had the K like the Killers have on the stage, like a light up K, which I thought was pretty good.
Did the drummer have a beard?
Don't know.
That's
I was just dazzled by the
man.
waistcoat and jacket, to be honest. So.
Were they older guys or younger? Or was it an older band with a younger frontman that you see a lot of these bands
I was
do?
only mesmerised by the frontman, and he was a decent age, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Decent age. That's a good way to describe
him.
him.
Yeah, he's not too young. He's not too old.
Who was the man that mugged you? This was his race. He was a decent age.
He's a decent age.
He's a decent
man
age.
Yeah, he was a good lad.
Write that down.
So, does a decent age apply to the following band you saw that night?
So, well, I got thinking about Oasis, right? Have they changed their members? Like the bootleg Beatles, they change their members to go like back to the start every now and again. So they're like they stay in age with each other. Then when they quit, they go back to like young age again and grow old again. But I was like, have the Liam guy was probably, I don't want to be offensive to him, but probably about Liam's age, maybe a little bit younger.
And that's not a respectable age as you described.
No, I would say, but it certainly wasn't early Liam.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the rest of the band, the guy who was Noel was dressed kind of like Noel.
Yeah.
Hair was maybe more like later Noel rather than the sort of mutton chops. It was kind of a bit like that, but without the grey. He had a very decent head of hair in terms of the colouring.
Excellent.
And then the rest of the band were not trying to be anyone, as far as I could tell. I'd had a few Guinnesses, obviously, with it being the Irish.
That's what it's for, right? That's
funny because these guys are in like circles of other cover bands, so you could be going seeing the Oasis band play, but then the guitarist looks like fucking Slash because he's other bands, Guns N' Roses. So it's like, oh, here's Gem Archer. He's wearing a parka with the fucking little top hat on. Like
Brandon Flowers was on drums from the band before. He's in them both. But yeah, the thing that I found quite interesting though was setlist. Obviously played all the bangers, but they chucked a few in there. The most interesting bit was Liam went off, and then Noel did Half the World Away, and then a Noel solo song.
Nice.
Ooh.
And then Liam came back on and did one or two Liam solo songs.
Nice.
He did once, which I was like, oh, it's like that's something you're not going to get at Oasis.
No,
maybe that's a new thing they've introduced where it's like, oh, we can do more. We can do more than an actual Oasis here.
Do you think they just got sick of playing Talk Tonight and Acquiesce back to back every night for 30 years, and they're just like, let's put a new one in there?
A huge thing from someone in the crowd kept shouting play Acquiesce, and they were like, no, this is because there's two bands on, we're doing like a condensed set, and they were like, you need to come and see us in like Wakefield in 2 months time, and you'll get the rest of the whole production.
That's a clever kind of technique.
Great marketing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And if you want to see them, obviously we're London boys, and they're playing at Shepherd's Bush Empire in November, along with the Clone Roses, which is excellent.
I'd love
an
to see
elite
that.
level
That is great.
cover name, and a Smiths cover band who might also just be called
My
the Smiths.
Smiths cover band.
No. I think they're just the Smiths UK.
Oh, drop that UK.
I think that's what they are. But maybe it is the Smythes, but
it's got to be. They're the only ones.
Yeah.
Right, they headline Brixton Academy.
That's what I mean. Yeah, we've kind of already spoken it before, but yeah, incredible. I mean, as far as cover bands go, like they're the one I've probably seen that band more times than any other band. Probably in the double digits easily.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what other kind of bands you guys have seen in the cover spectrum, and do they add up to the Oasis cover band?
Well, I would say about cover bands, right? They can be really hit and miss, and some really make the effort, and some are just like, we'll just play the songs. It doesn't really matter about the look. But like the Oasis one was like, people were really into it, and maybe because it was obviously a small venue, because it was just like a social club. It was like, oh, this is like actually a good experience because it's quite.
What was the age
intense.
demographic of that then?
A decent age.
A decent age. Decent age.
Decent
There weren't many younguns, but there were people in there. I'd say like late 20s, probably to like early mid 50s. Was probably there was no like the captain sat over in the corner in his like 80s, and there was no little ones. But I would say that chunk, which is probably the same demographic as Oasis are going to have.
Good barometer.
Yeah, decent men.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, like thinking of like cover bands that. Yeah, you've seen, Adam. Like, who's the top cover band that you've seen that you remember?
But yeah, we saw a Talking Heads band, and well, and this is where these cover bands can get it wrong. I don't know if you want to tell the story of the gig, Tom, because they got it really wrong.
They really did. We went there. It was a Moth Club, I believe, in East London, and it was the Speaking in Tongues, perhaps the 30th anniversary.
Yeah,
maybe there was some
band called Speaking in Tongues, weren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, but it was for your birthday.
It might have been, It might be a bit of a treat. Get the boys together, a bit talking heads.
When you were a decent age.
When I was a decent, I'm beyond that
Speaking
now.
in Tongues.
So we thought, this would be good. It's not my favourite album of theirs, but I thought, obviously they'll throw the hits in at the end.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, I believe that. What's the song called?
They open.
Once in a Lifetime. Wait. So we went and saw them, and Once in a Lifetime is, I believe, the 4th track on Speaking in Tongues. I might be wrong. You might have to check me on that. Bang it up on screen now. And they open with it.
Yeah.
They opened with the best song. Well, arguably the best song.
It was second.
Was it second?
They opened with the opener of Remaining Light, and then they played.
That was it.
Played that.
So it was my birthday. I was out of it.
But the funny thing about that is they took an intermission between. They played like kind of probably about 2.5 hours or something to split up. And
for
one,
2.5 hours,
it wasn't.
No way.
For one of the things was the link. So, go see Talking Heads band. Iconic imagery, David Byrne, big suit, grey suit at least from fucking one of the most seminal live concert films ever made. And the guy was wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yes, they're all wearing Hawaiian shirts.
They all wearing them. It was striking to me.
Yeah, it was weird, especially that album is a very jammy kind of album.
Yeah,
like 8-minute songs. And everyone's kind of doing them tropical guitar, and it's like okay, and they really stuck to that. They weren't messing around. They were like, we're going to do all 10 minutes of this jam, but we're going to play Once in a Lifetime, and then we're going to do 30 minutes of jamming songs, and then I think that was it. And we were all kind of left a bit. Did they play it at the end again?
No, because that was our theory. The whole gig was, are they going to play Once in a Lifetime again? Like Craig David plays his songs twice.
Well, that happened
in his sets.
In the break between, I bumped into the singer, and I said to her, I was like, "Oh, you've got to play Once in a Lifetime again." And I was like, "Piss, you got to play it." And he's like, "We already played that one." Yeah. And I was like, "I know, but you can't play it again. That can't be the opening song for fuck's sake. Like, that's the song." Like,
well, I've got a story about the time I was in a cover band.
Yeah.
Weezer, WZR.
Yeah.
We played the Blue Album plus hits.
Yeah.
And one time at the Wedge Rooms in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
You've both been there to see the Smythes.
Yes. Yeah.
So cover band related cover story.
By the Killers.
And we played the Blue Album in full, as you may know. Buddy Holly, again, I think is the 4th track perhaps on that album. So we played it in sequence. The compare came out at the end after Only in Dreams, which is about 8 minutes long, and people kind of wearing down. And he's like, "Give it up for Weezer. Go on, lads, play Buddy Holly again." And we did. And it was brilliant, and everyone loved it. And you just got to give people what they want, right? That's the fun of it. Yeah.
Like, especially if you're a cover band, right? You got to know your place.
You're not better than the original. You can't be the band. You have to play.
But you can do things the band can't do, like just play an amazing song twice.
Yeah, why not?
Everyone's going to love it.
Yeah.
People come in late, they missed it, they get to hear
it.
People have heard it once, they've had a few more beers, they get to hear it again.
Brilliant.
Everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Well, to go back to another Talking Heads tribute band I saw, I was out in New York and there was a cover band, Talking Heads, and I forgot, they might be called Speaking in Tongues. I can't remember, getting them mixed up.
Speaking in Tongues US.
But these guys, I think, are the ultimate Talking Heads tribute band. They're playing at the Brooklyn bowling alley or something. They played for 3 hours, and the guy is dressed like David Byrne the whole time, acting like him on stage. All the musicians, the number of musicians they had when they did Stop Making Sense, play Stop Making Sense songs, like bits of it there, songs you know, deeper cuts, great. Then one bit dedicated to basically the Stop Making Sense film. Right. He leaves. They do the Tom Club thing. This is getting really in depth to Mad for Talking Heads podcast.
Yeah.
But then he comes out in the big suit.
Oh wow!
And does the thing, and they try to get the lighting like it, and the lamp has the lamp. Everything about it left that, and I was like, I fucking hope they come to UK.
Yeah,
that's the closest that we've got to seeing Talking Heads.
Timeless.
But yeah, amazing,
incredible.
But
have you ever seen any bad cover bands and cover gigs?
I was trying to think about this. Because the only other one I've seen is The Doors Alive. And actually, I supported them. They're like the
big ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I supported them in my 2-piece progressive math rock band with my brother, like a folky acoustic thing. And then The Doors came out, and it was just like, and the guy had the leather pants. He was doing the whole Jim Morrison thing, and we all did the thing, that Slipknot thing where they make everyone crouch and then jump. And we did that for Roadhouse Blues, and it was amazing. It was like one of the greatest nights. So that wasn't a bad one. We were asking for bad ones, but actually maybe don't have an example of that, guys. Any thoughts?
I've got one for me and you when we went to Colchester. I think we mentioned this before because I put a clip in.
Yes.
But there was a cover band playing. It's like, whatever, it was a pub and they were playing. Probably the worst bit about that was when I went up and played, should I stay or should I go on drums? So that's my worst experience with a cover band, was
you were the worst part.
Drunkenly trying to get involved in it and showing my arse, basically.
I think there's a difference between a cover band and a covers band, because they weren't like themed. They were just like lads who like to play the standards.
Yeah, because you get that in the pub corner, and it's just like and then you just do a range of hits. They do Sweet Home Alabama, and you'd be like, oh right,
Sweet Child of Mine,
Sweet Child of Mine, all the
Caroline, Sweet Like Chocolate.
All of them. One more. You got one more?
No.
Oh, 5 sweets. The 5 sweet challenge. I
think the worst one I've seen was, sadly, the Talking Heads band that we all went and saw. I think of all the cover bands I've seen,
there was a lot of pressure for that to be good on my birthday.
But it was a good time though. That was.
But you just said it was the worst thing you've ever seen.
No, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in any shape of any way. But it was just, as a covers band goes,
low rank.
Just I saw Fleetwood Mac cover band in a massive place in not Yeovil.
Was it Fleetwood Mac?
It was Fleetwood Mac. I got the T-shirt
UK.
and everything. And went for someone's birthday, and it was wicked. It was so good.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
But that was a great night, because if the music's good enough and the band can play it good enough, it's great, because you're not going to hear that. But that brings me on to something different. That going to see a band who aren't like a Noel Gallagher or a Liam Gallagher, seeing someone perform the music of their old band, like more specifically. Sorry, I bring up Talking Heads again. We saw David Byrne, and he went out and put his new album out. But he played like 9 Talking Heads songs, and it's one of the best gigs I've ever been to in my life.
Easily.
And it's that kind of thing. Can people come and do it and give you that feeling of like, well, this is the best I'm going to have of that. And there's some people going to come out there and just absolutely destroy their own like music by doing different renditions of it.
Yeah, I've got to say, I saw John Cale from the Velvet Underground. Love his music all the way back. Like, really great guy. And he did a rendition, and this was at I don't
Barbican?
know. No, it was pretty small, and people walked out. People were walking out during this song because it was like a 10-minute version of this song, and it was all slowed and bowed, and people were like, "Oh, I've had enough of this." I'm like, "Do you know what the Velvet Underground sound like? Like, this is what it used to be," and he's just like velvetized it. A bit off topic for cover bands, but that was an example of when
I met John Cale at my old job.
You never.
I did. He was
the Welshman,
probably for that tour that you went to. Did he have a broken leg when you saw him?
No, this was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
This was about 6-7 years ago. And I was in a lift with him, and he was there, and he seemed really nice.
Yeah,
and I asked one of his crew, I was like, "Oh, how is he?" Like, because he was in Velvet Underground, notoriously fucking bad boys.
Yeah,
watch out, 1960s bad boys are there, and apparently it's lovely. But that's my John Cale story there.
Wonderful.
So a lovely man.
What about you, Adam? Like, let's stay away from someone like a Noel and Liam, because it's very obvious that they're going to perform the thing. Maybe David Byrne is also.
Well, what do you think? Where it's someone in the band who didn't sing the song, like
the jam.
When you see, exactly. When you see Noel, obviously he did sing some of them, but he's singing a lot that Liam sang, which I don't know if that's better or worse, because you can say, look, he's just putting his own spin on it, like he would if he was doing like an acoustic thing, even when he was in Oasis, which he did do.
Yeah.
Is that harder in some ways, or is it easier because they're not having to live up to the original because they weren't the original singer?
Well, I think the Jam is that exact cross section because it was supposed to be the two boys plus the Paul Weller lookalike guy, and obviously they started as a cover band, and then they got the original members in the band 15-20 years down the road. So he's kind of not only doing an impression, then he's with the band and he has to kind of be Paul Weller.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got a bit of a haircut and he's doing all the shirty stuff. But actually, just an update on that. I've seen some footage of Bruce back in the band.
Yeah.
He's not looking his best. Let me say. They've had to slow the songs down a little bit, and it's
their drummer just died, didn't they? Oh, he left. Oh, he wasn't the guy who. Oh, I thought he was the guy who didn't show up because it turns out he was very ill.
Yeah, Bruce would put his back out, and he actually. I'll have to get a clip because he kind of looks like Noel Gallagher. He's got like big bushy hair, and he's like a sad old little face. And I was just like, okay, maybe I kind of.
Yeah, it's like the residuals for the Jam just got Paul Weller. We get nothing. I have to be in a cover band for my own band to keep the hot water on. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of going to a cover band, seeing a cover band. We saw your favourite Smiths cover band and Nirvana UK.
Yeah, amazing.
Play Brixton Academy. It was the first gig at Brixton Academy because since it closed down and then reopened, so they were doing small soft launches just to get all the security in. And we went, and the Nirvana band was cool. You're never going to see you might see Nirvana because they're probably going to fucking have a reunion next year with whoever the fuck they choose to sing, Post Malone
or whatever.
Yeah, and it was cool and it was really enjoyable. And they just play the songs the way they are. If they dress like them, it helps. It's kind of
it
cool.
helps. I think
unless you then bend down and you're talking to the people and you notice that Kurt Cobain's more like Kurt Cobain, and it's you're kind of all right. But the Smiths one, it's they're old geezers, bald guys,
they know
and
what they're doing.
The younger new guy who's Morrissey looks
he's the same age as him.
Who is he? He's doing a lot better than those guys. He looks like he's a fair age or whatever we were saying.
He's a decent age. Yeah.
Is there any band you would like to see a cover band of?
It's got to be wall to wall. It's you just go out, fucking Oasis. That's I'd love to go see Oasis, that. I'd love to go see something like that.
Shepherd's Bush Empire, November.
Should we go? Because all my gigs this year are at Shepherd's fucking Bush Empire. If I go and see that, I think that'll be the 5th gig I've seen there this year.
God.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's who are the other Oasis cover bands? Noasis. There's quite a few.
Well, there was Oasis that we came up with for the. That's going to be a thing soon. Where you just press a button, and then you can have Acquiesce because you'll just type "play Acquiesce, please."
Yeah. Play Acquiesce badly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We believe in each other.
Is that Cher?
I do want to see ABBA Voyage.
Again, is that a cover band?
I've seen it, and we've talked about it.
It's kind of that same kind of thing, isn't it? But it's so funny how much you can spread into that, and more people are buying into those kind of.
Oh, I know. I figured we talked about that before, and I couldn't remember who's going on after. I don't know if I told you on the previous podcast. Kiss, I think, are going to take that space when the ABBA residency runs out.
But they've just literally reformed to do another tour after doing their final tour a year ago.
And didn't Gene Simmons say that you have to pay him $12,000 a week to be his roadie? Yeah.
You pay and you can work for him for
it's 12
ridiculous
grand.
amount.
Wow.
Yeah, but you get a hat.
Lanyard.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah, that's.
I can't put his thumbs up anymore.
No,
come on.
You have cancelled.
He
cancelled that tour that he was doing. That was like a Gene Simmons solo tour. So because Kiss are coming back, so you don't need to go see Kiss at the ABBA Voyage Stadium because you can see Kiss.
You just don't go at all, and everyone.
Anytime you want to see Kiss, they're always playing.
Yeah,
and there's loads of tickets because nobody wants to go see Kiss anymore. But yeah.
But what about you, Ed? What if you could see anyone?
I think it's got to be someone that you can no longer see. That's why Oasis will have done well. What about a really good David Bowie?
Yeah,
would be amazing.
Well, funny you say that. I've got tickets to Tommy. I want to say Tommy Iommi, but it's not Tommy Viscotti. Someone.
Tommy Viscotti.
No, the guy by City. The guy that produced them.
Yes, yeah.
Produced the Barry stuff. Him and someone else are playing at Shepherd's Bush Empire, and I've got tickets to see that.
You're gonna watch the producer of
play
the David
songs
Bowie album.
Yeah, it's bonkers. But we're like, well, why not? I want to see Ashes to Ashes. I want to see.
But he won't sing.
Someone's got to sing.
There'll be a singer.
It'll be like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Cardinal from X Factor, and he'll come up and he'll do it, and he'll have a little star on it. It's fuck's sake, man. It's like some guy that got, like, basically some woman that the guy's like, yeah, I'm working with a session musician. Also, my marriage isn't going well, so we'll have her in the band, kind of thing.
Well, is that a cover band? If it's like people who are adjacent to the band, not dressing up.
Yeah,
but it's not dressing up. It's a night of music celebrating David Bowie's.
Well, how much is a ticket? He wants to dress up.
I don't know, like, you know what it's like.
For
40 quid
for that much. He could paint his face.
It's just going to be a bald bloke with a shirt on. There we go. Is
seeing Jerry Harrison cover. So Talking Heads again. He's going with, and he's doing Remain in Light, and yeah, that's not Talking Heads. He played on it.
What does he do in Remain in Light?
He's going to play guitar and just sing, like, and it's not as good as David Byrne would do. And yeah, so I'd say that's like, yeah, it's not like a cover. He's in the band, but if
it's adjacent,
Brian Eno was like, I'm going to cover Talking Heads, I'd be like, well, that's covers. That's definitely cover
right,
band.
Okay,
like,
so we sorted that.
Yeah,
we know. Yeah,
it's done there.
It's
and
done.
Of course, Oasis themselves not shy doing a cover. Like I Am the Walrus was mainstay of their set for many years.
Yeah, well, they're a cover band now, in my eyes now.
Well, they're sort of a cover band for themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Everything's a cover now. Nothing's.
I mean, if they're not going to bring out anything new, and we know that, and they say that, and it's kind of just an obvious fact, then yeah, they're just playing their old stuff. But then, like, Fleetwood Mac or whatever, do they still go? Do they play their old stuff and just we made an album?
Stuff, well, yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
But yeah, Fleetwood Mac, Fleetwood Back.
Fleetwood Back. No.
Fleetwood Back. They play a range of stuff. They played some Peter Green stuff, and it's like, oh, cool. The guy had a big wig on. It was like, yeah, it was made the Stevie Nicks woman.
I will go for the wigs. I will 100% go for the wigs.
The Stevie Nicks woman was way better at singing than Stevie Nicks is now. When I saw Fleetwood Mac reunite, it was like, oh, yeah, I might as well have gone see Fleetwood Back.
Well, there are some risky ones. Like there's a Kate Bush one, and we're kind of like, I do want to hear those songs just in a live context. But
I can't wait to be bored to fuck in a wreck, like fucking
not seeing Kate Bush.
Yeah, like, oh,
that's what I mean. Like, where does it end then? Where does it? If we're just saying who we want to see, stick it on.
Kate Bush is a great one for doing a different name, like Kate Shrub.
Yes.
Or there's lots you go off there.
It's the
Kate Bush
smaller
UK.
Ones like the fucking Kasabians and stuff. They're the bands that you want to see. It's like, I'm going to see the Hardfire cover band. Going to go see a Kate Nash cover band. It's like, that's what I want to see.
How minuscule can you get it? What's the smallest band that could achieve a tribute band?
Yeah.
Like, who's got one big song that you can be like, oh yeah, we're that, and we're just going to play that song at the end.
Oh, I've got one more thing. Like, I was out in London. I've forgotten exactly where it was. But we went to a place. It was a Blockbuster. It used to be a Blockbuster. It turned into a metal bar, and there was a Motorhead cover band on.
Oh hell yeah, brother!
And it was great. I was like, okay, cool. We didn't know it was on. It was just walking by. But then the band ran like, hi guys, yes, sorry, our singer's ill. He's got COVID.
No.
So we're just gonna play loads of songs, and they just covered loads of metal songs. I think they threw a few originals in there. But then it was like, I think I was like pissed. I was like, play Motorhead. And we're gonna. And then they played like Ace of Spades and like Motorhead and all that shit.
Did one of them sing?
Yeah.
Like, was it just instrumental?
And it was fine. It was wicked. And it was like, yeah, just play. But that's a covers band at that point.
Yeah.
Me and my brother saw Descendants recently at Shepherd's Bush Empire, of course.
Yes, yeah.
And the reason I brought that ticket specifically because I think we looked it up. It's either 2008 or 2013. We saw them there for the first time. So we're like, right, me and my brother will get back together. And he reminded me, which I'd completely forgotten about, that the singer was ill that night. So he came out and did one song. His voice went, and then they had to basically pull people from backstage. There was a guy from NoFX and things like this. Did I get Descendants that night, or did I get the band of Descendants with a bunch of singers?
Yeah, you got a band of Descendants.
You got what you'll get if you see Black Sabbath this summer. That's what you got.
Yes. It's by the Jam or whatever that band you see. That's the exact same thing when they had the original members, but no Weller. You wouldn't say you got the Jam.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're
But
absolutely right. Yeah.
That happened once with a band I went and saw. It's like one of their singers who has all the best songs wasn't on the tour for whatever mental health reasons.
Oh, Doves. They're a band which don't have their singer when they play live.
Exactly, yeah. Like, oh, you're not going to see...
Are they a cover band?
Diet Doves, yeah. But yeah, that was the same thing. It was like, oh, we're going to play all his songs kind of at the end with different singers of the support bands. And I'm like, this is no... I was gutted. I wanted to get rid of my ticket when I found out that guy wasn't in it. And I was like...
Nobody wanted it.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I don't want to see some support band who I don't know cover the song. It's like...
Yeah, it's not the same.
You want the full fat. Like, if you don't get the full fat, go for the imitation knockoff. It's like, if you can't get Cocoa Puffs, get Cocoa Pops or whatever. All
right, I got one for in between. I want to get your boys' vote on this. Guided by Voices cover band. They did 30 years of the fucking hell. Why do I forget everything on this podcast?
Guided
by Voices, cover band. They did one of the albums.
Alien.
Is not Alien Lanes, it was the other one, which I've forgotten. I've got it on my t-shirt. What's my t-shirt?
Alien Ant Farm.
B.
Guided by Voices, B1000. They did 30 years of that. They didn't dress up because there's no real thing. They're just a bunch of blokes. That's the kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But they did all the songs like Pitch Perfect, great cover band, one of the greats. Had a great time. Where does that land?
That's a cover band.
But it's a cover band, but they're not taking it to the Oasis wearing Parker level.
But they're only playing Guided by Voices.
So that's covers band.
But they only played Guided
They
by
only
Voices.
play voice.
Okay, well they're a cover band, and not a very good one because they've been bloody dressed up. Come on,
right.
Fake Liam was wearing a massive parka. It was red hot in there.
I bet it was really hot.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
If you dedicate to the look and the cover the songs, you're a cover band. If you dedicate to the look and then don't do any of their songs, you're not a cover band. You're a band dressed up like Oasis. If you play it's all about the music, baby.
All right.
You saw the cover band.
Is that the three secrets to
the three secrets?
It's the music,
the look,
the fans. That's
who
it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And do you know what? No better word, truer or better words have been spoken. And I think that's what we're going to end it on.
Well,
Sweet Home Alabama.
What about it?
Sweet.
So, it's taking all that time. Put the time it's taken. I bet that was about 16 minutes or something.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching.
Cheers. See you next
Be
Thursday.
sure to like and subscribe on us.
Go on.
He wants to go home, doesn't he?
I thought, yeah, not good, mate.
Be sure to like and subscribe on our social media, and we'll see you next time.
Mad for it.